the first online. And I think you were in that class then.
2020, the one on
The hybrid
like the
online.
hybrid, yeah. I
Yeah.
think 2020, was it 2020?
I think it was during the winter of COVID was the first time I took it.
Yeah, it was
It was
after
his,
COVID.
yeah, I think it was his first foray into doing the online class.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I was there in 2020. Let me remember. I think
Okay, I did take it a second time as well.
29, 2020, let's see, 2021 maybe?
And it might
I'm
have been
trying to
just
remember.
I might just remember you from some of the different calls that we did to the mentoring
Yeah,
calls.
right.
Yeah.
Yes. So, what level are you in now?
I have not progressed, and I didn't intend to actually progress.
Yeah.
I wasn't planning on doing the teaching,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yes.
I've just stuck with level one, and I didn't even actually complete it.
Well, you're making progress in your life. That's what matters. That's what we're here for.
I have been, but then I fall off the wagon, and I don't stick with it. So I really
Yeah.
need to tap on that. I don't take
So
the
that's
time.
that's why I'm doing this so that, if we fall off the wagon, we can kind of stay part of this, keep
Yeah,
working through the concepts so they're on top of our mind, and
to be accountable.
to be more accountable, to be more like just, because we forget our daily life happens, we forget about the upper and lower model of the world, for
Yes,
example.
that's true.
So,
So true.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
the more we have it in our conscious mind, the more, we practice in our life.
True.
So, hey, Jerry.
Hi.
Hello, welcome.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. All right. Hello, everyone else. Alicia, Penny, and Diane.
Hi.
Hey. All right. We got another minute still, so we'll just keep hanging out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't
Oh,
see my video. Oh,
Is this
well,
a,
that's okay.
is this a
I,
new group? Is this a
it's
new
a new
group?
group. Yes,
Oh,
today's the
cool.
first. Yeah.
I haven't missed
So
anything.
you have not. You have
Okay.
not missed anything. Yes. All right. Hey, Catherine, welcome.
Ah,
Got
hi,
it.
Daddy.
Good to see you. All right. All right. Yeah, I'm sure a couple people will keep dropping in. Hey, Alicia, good to see you. Hey, Diane, I can see you now. Yes. Hey, Penny, Catherine. All right. Hey, Torian. Good
Hi, Tracy.
to have you here.
Nice to see a new group.
Yes,
Yeah,
exciting.
it
All right,
is.
welcome everyone. Today is the first of the series. I figured to start this because as I was just talking with Esther, all the level one concepts, they're really cool. And every time I go through it, it's just, brings me back to why we are here for. It's like really cool to practice it, have it in our life. Um, and as I was saying, uh, when we don't have it on top of our mind, it kind of goes in the background. But if we just keep talking about it, it stays, becomes a part of who we are. So it's really, you know, good to have that as our guiding principle, I guess. So, so here we are, and today's topic is the upper and lower model of the world. So I figured that would be a really good topic to start with because that's like the number one thing that we need to keep in on top of our minds. Um, so let's see. I was gonna like start with just introductions. So I'll just start. I'm thrifty and I am a level 4 practitioner, and I've been having fun with it the whole time ever since I got here. Started eutaptics. Um, I'm in Arizona. Let's see, what else? Anything else? I guess that would be good enough. I'll just pass the torch along to the next person. So, Esther, go for it. You're on top of my, I can see you first here.
Hi, I've taken level one twice, but I haven't completed it because I hadn't actually intended to progress from there. But I find it, okay, so I'm in Nova Scotia, Canada, and I do find it so easy to forget, especially this lower model of the world. And I love this. It's just going to be a good reminder for me to decide where I want to be, what my behavior should be. So thank you.
Hey, Sherry.
Okay, I'm Sherry Kaneska. I live in Michigan. And I'm in the middle of level 3, getting my certification. So yeah,
Good.
excited to be here. And I'm real grateful for the review on level 1, because how often do I hear Robert say, "Oh, go back to the basics. You should take level 1 over again and over again." And I thought, well, this is the next best thing right now, what I can do. So
Yes, I agree with that. I've gone to the let's see, I've gone to the level 1, been through the levels 1 twice, I think, 2 or 3 times now. And every time I do it, it's like a whole new understanding, and I come out a little bit better person, I think. So it's good. Dottie, would you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Dottie O'Donnell. I'm from Massachusetts, and I just started level 3.
Thank you. Alicia.
Hi, I'm Alicia and I'm from Washington. I did level 1 back like maybe 2019 and kind of got overwhelmed with the emotions that came up. So I worked a lot on emotions and then I retook level 1 almost 2 years ago. So I need to finish up level 1 in the next couple of months. So that's my goal.
Diane.
Hi, everyone. Diane Shira from Alberta, Canada. Recent Albertan. We just moved from Saskatchewan, a neighboring province, in July. So I started following Robert many, many years ago. I think he was relatively new when I found him online, and I started following his videos, YouTube, way back when he had hundreds of them, probably 1,000 of them. And I would tap along and tap along, and I knew I had found something that made sense to me because I had found other healing modalities, but sometimes they just don't work. And I had tried just the regular EFT for a couple of years before I found faster EFT. And then, but I never signed up for a course. And then somewhere around 2019, I did. But as always happens in my life, not sure how subliminal it is, but whenever I start to do something, some major event happens in my life. And so same thing happened in 2019 and 2020. And then things just kind of get put on the back burner. And then in April, I did a couple of sessions with Robert. And, and I thought, okay, I'm going to start this again. And I talked to him about starting it again. And my daughter had a baby, and we moved to a neighboring province, and we got settled in. And now I'm at her place almost every day. And once again, life, what's more important? Well, I'm important, but helping her and her baby is important. And so that's just the way it goes. But nonetheless, I am working on working on staying in the program, because you're right. As soon as I drop it, as soon as I don't think about it, I forget all about this, and I'll find myself out of sorts, and I'll think, oh, but I have to get to a crappy level sometimes before I remember to start tapping again. Anyway, that's my story. I'm really glad to be here. I'm so happy that you are doing this. Um, one of my hindrances is that being in Canada, we have to convert everything to American dollars. And when we have to start hiring people to finish up our program, then it's like, oh gosh, that kind of starts to cost a bit, right? And so that is always a drawback for me too. Anyway, that's my story. Long one. Thanks.
You. Wow. That's a big journey here. It's amazing. Hey, Penny, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Penny. I live in the northwest, the mountains of Western North Carolina, and I recently took the hybrid online level one, and I did that for myself. And back in 2015, I did the live one, level one, with Robert in Oklahoma. So quite a big gap there. But anyway, I'm it's yeah, it's been really good so far. I'm integrating it slowly. I mean, it's much better this time because I'm able to do it over a period of time instead of just, 1 week and then rush back to work. So anyway, yeah.
Perfect. And that's why we're doing this way we can just like really dive deep into each concept and, kind of think about it and come up with our own understandings. So thank you. Hey, Sharon, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Sharon. Can you hear me all right? Okay, super. I am on the East Coast in Maryland. I came to know Robert's work maybe a year and a half ago, took the 7-day free training and I was able to get myself free to a certain extent on one little very important item for me. And I was amazed that that was lifted, and it just that uh, my concern for how I appear to others in the world just in that in that space, it just evaporated, right? And I didn't have that hovering over me. I'm at a stage where I can retire officially in next May, which would be wonderful. But I'm a single mom. I have a child, adult child with autism. I've got a lot of things I'm like, you know, juggling. And I've been dealing with overwhelm for the past couple of decades, to be quite honest. And I feel like it is really just it's just all kind of kept me from feeling courageous and vibrant. I want to be back to the adventurous, fun-loving person that I used to be. I feel like nobody around me now knows who that was. It's the memories of who the life I lived and the experiences I had. And I want to re-inspire that hope for a vibrant and joyful life. And I'd like to be able to feel like I can integrate with a community, and that I can see my value, and hopefully others will be able to see my value too. So that's kind of why I signed up for level one. I'm ready to move on.
Absolutely, you're in the right place.
Thanks.
Thank you for being here. Yes.
Thank you.
Hey, Karen.
Hi, how are you? How is everybody? Sorry, I was a couple minutes late. I'm just assuming we're saying how and where and everything related to everything.
Yeah, just introduce yourself. You can, just start with your name and where you're at. In physically in, on the world, and if you want to
Perfect.
say something about yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. My name's Karen. I know that there's a few other Canadians. I'm originally from Canada, but I live in San Diego. I've been in the US for about 30 years now. I found Robert's work, or was introduced to Robert's work through a childhood friend of mine that lives in Toronto. He did back in, I think, 2016, completed like level 3. So he introduced me to it. And then I started having sessions. And then I took just because of timing and the courses that were coming up, that was in August of 22, 3, 4, yeah. And had sessions, did the program, which is the Ultimate Manifestation Program. And then come the new year in 23, I started I think it was February, the level 1. And then last September, not this past, but the previous one, I went to live level 1, which I would always recommend. And we can get our numbers up for people that want to go and travel. That's what this last few years, it kind of got us doing this stuff instead of doing things in person. But being in person is a real good experience as well. And now I finished level 1, finished level 2, and now I'm in level 3. So everything's going well. I'm not the same person I was a few years ago. And I'm really looking forward to seeing more changes as time goes on. And I appreciate the work that Robert's presented us with.
Mary?
Hi, my name's Mary, and I live in Fort. I was introduced to eutaptics right at the end of August this year. I went on the webinar for grief and loss, and I kind of told my story, and then I ended up at the level 1 training in September. So it was really in the nick of time because I've experienced a lot of deep level trauma throughout my life. I've been since 2009, and I was pretty much just ready to throw in the towel when I was at the point of getting in the webinar. And you know, a lot of major accidents, childhood sexual abuse, homicide attempt, a lot of big major trauma. And I was at the point where I'm a catatonic. I couldn't speak, couldn't put words together for a sentence. And somebody on the webinar had heard my story, and this kind soul was good enough to fund that training for me. And I tell you what, my life has done a 180 or 360 or however. It's just really turned upside down. I mean, over the years, I've tried everything from hypnosis to EFT, CBT, DBT. I just, you name it, I've done it. Everything short of like the Joe Dispenza thing. And I'm just really grateful that I found eutaptics in the training, and out of all the other modalities, it's helped me the most. So I'm just really happy to be here, and thanks for letting me share.
Yeah, that was wonderful. Wow, what a story. Hey, Tina. Is that how you say Tina?
It's China.
China. All right. All right. Welcome.
Hi. Okay, so I was introduced to Robert's work. It's been about a year and a half. I was introduced to it by a girl that I follow on Instagram, and I just started getting sessions with her, and I noticed that like big things that we would work on, they would no longer like affect me, and it was crazy. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this work. And so it's almost been a year since I um bought the course, and I'm pretty much done with it. I just need to take my test. I don't know why I've had such test anxiety, but I like have, and so I don't feel ready at all. So when you posted this, I was like, oh, cool. Um, but yeah, it's been like definitely life changing. I recommend if you have big stuff that you work with practitioners that know how to get you out of that. Um, yeah, I feel like I'm just like a calmer me, a better mom, and yeah, so that's a little bit about me.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Hey, Catherine.
Hi, everybody. Um, so I am in level 2 right now, and I think I started with Fast CFT maybe 2.5, 3 years ago. And I'll soon be moving on to level 3, but I'm also like just need to take the tests. And yeah, need to get a bit more like study again a bit more for that. And I live in Denmark. Yeah, I'm really happy to be part of this community.
Super. Wonderful. That's wonderful. Yes. You're gonna have fun in level 3. Hey, Toria. We're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Mhm.
Awesome. Hi, I'm Torian. Some of you guys probably know my mom. She's not in here right now, but her name is Kathy. She's the one who got me into this. She's working on level 2 now, and she got me into level 1. I'm only 26, so she wanted to get me in early. Um, had some I've been doing really well professionally, like and like all the other levels or parts of my life, but like emotionally and socially, I've been really struggling for the last couple of years. And she brought me in, and I'm still really, I just started this in August, so as a lot of you guys know, I'm an emotional. I've been a little emotional mess, but not a mess, but very raw, I guess. Um, but I can see that it's helping me. I'm learning to tap in the moment. Even people think of like all my friends know, like, oh, she's tapping, it's fine. But yeah, and I'm from Arizona.
Oh, welcome. It's perfect time. There's no better time than now to start the eutaptics, right? Mhm. All right. Hey, Beth.
Hello, I'm Beth from Mesa, Arizona, and it's finally cooling down. Yay. Anyway, I stumbled, so to speak, upon Robert on YouTube just a few months ago and was struggling with anxiety, depression, PTSD, barely functioning, and I chose to do a few sessions with him and change my life. I'm not 100%, but boy, oh boy, I'm sure starting to feel a whole lot better. And then I joined the level 1 and I did the hybrid. I'm still a work in progress, but enjoying the journey.
That's wonderful. All right. Hey, Julia.
Hello. Just was wondering if there's another Julia, but no, it's me. Hi.
You.
Yeah, sorry for screaming a while ago. I was not seeing that I was not unmuted. My child was just asking something from behind. Yeah, so I'm just very happy that you're doing here the group, Thirsty. So I just was jumping in and I started the training 1.5 years ago. And so I have many improvements. And so mainly working through my illness stuff. And like I sometimes think about like some experience I had, like I think that shifted like really a lot for me. I went to a tap along. I was working on my on my like that I couldn't really feel my arm for like 10 years. It was really numb. And I was working on that experience. I knew where it came from somewhat, the related memories. And then it was just 15 minutes in a tap along. And then after 10 years, suddenly I can feel my arm again. And it was really, really profound for me. And so, so many experiences like this. So some areas shift really fast. For others, I am stuck for a while, but then suddenly it shifts. Like suddenly I'm watching a video or suddenly I'm understanding like parts of the training and then I get it. And then just so so it's really, really great to learn. And so there's really a lot to study here and I'm learning a lot. A lot every day, basically, and yeah, working through stuff. Yeah, and I'm happy here to see everyone here.
Wow, that's an amazing story. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
China, I wish I was there to watch it too. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Julia.
Oh
That's
yeah.
very inspirational. All right.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's start it. What a wonderful group. Thank you so much for everyone for being here. So I was thinking maybe what might be really cool is we can just read from the book, the level one book, whoever has it in front of them. We can just go one paragraph at a time, just read through it so we can read whatever Robert wrote about the upper and lower model of the world. So just raise your hand if you would like to jump in and read a paragraph. Like maybe you can just raise your hand in the Zoom. Like at the bottom there's react and just there's a raise your hand button.
What page are we on?
On my book is page 37 on level one book, but it might be a page here and there somewhere.
Yeah, where are we starting?
So two models of the world. All right. Did you find it, China? You find it, Sherry?
Yes, I found it.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
have it too.
All right. So China, would you like to read the first paragraph? And we can just read a paragraph at a time and pass the torch along to the next
Yeah.
person over.
So, two models of the world. There are two basic ways of thinking. Eutaptics refers to them as the upper and lower models of the world. Most people think and act within the model that is developed at birth, the lower model. Those who operate with the eutaptic system learn about and live from the upper model of the world.
Lottie, would you like to read it?
The lower model of the world. When we are born, we are at the mercy of our environment. This means that everything we need for survival, our food, comfort, and safety, comes from an outside source. By default, we learn that our experiences and subsequent feelings are a result of the things that happen to us. People and events or circumstances make us feel, act, respond, or behave the way we do. We have no control, so it's their fault.
Penny.
Essentially, anything that shifts the responsibility from ourselves to others is used. The main reason we do this is because we are not taught that the controls are within us. And in a way, it is much easier to blame outside circumstances for our perceived failures than it is to take responsibility for ourselves. When others are to blame, we don't have to take action to change it.
Right. Who else would like to read? Sherry.
In this model, we give our power to others. We get our value from others, and we can't help but feel we are victims of circumstances.
All right. You can go ahead, Sherry. Read
All
the next
those,
paragraph.
oh, okay. On the next, the upper model of the world. Eutaptics recognizes that the real cause of problems is perception. It's the meaning that you give to your experiences that makes them problems for you or not. This puts the power back in you. You get to choose how you live, and you can make your life what you desire.
Yeah. All right, who's next? Torian.
Think about it for a moment. An event occurs and yet people react very differently to the same event. This is because of our different perceptions and internal references.
Would you like to read the next one? It's a teeny tiny paragraph.
Sure. When you live the upper model of the world, when something bothers you, you recognize that it is the reference inside of you that makes it a problem. You notice how and then use a faster EFT process to change those references. You take complete responsibility for your life and the outcomes you create, which empower you to make the changes you desire in your life.
Yeah. All right, who's next? Anybody else? All right, Beth. Beth, would you like to read? You're muted.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute. We're under the facts of the two models of the world. Okay.
Yeah, then we can just read.
We cannot change other people, and we cannot change many of the circumstances and situations in the world around us. You want me to keep going?
Who's next? Anybody else? All right,
Sure,
Diane,
I'll
next.
go. We can change our experiences by changing the references we hold. Number 3, living from the perspective of they're doing it to me, or it is doing it to me, disempowers you and leaves you at the mercy of people and things outside yourself. Number 4, everything you feel and think happens inside of you. Feelings are physiological sensations, and it is your brain that triggers those responses. No one or nothing outside of you can cause those responses because they can't get inside of you. There's only you in there. I'll pass.
That's right.
Who did you say?
Oh, Catherine, I think Catherine raised her hand.
Yes, so living from the perspective of I'm doing it to me empowers you to make the changes inside you that will result in different experiences. And 6, understanding and accepting that you get to decide how you feel by changing references and therefore changing the automatic responses of your brain and body gives you the power to truly create the life experiences you really want.
Wonderful. I think it's a really beautiful concept to always keep that in mind whenever we're operating in the world with people around us. So does anyone have any input, any of your own experience, any of your own insights that you would like to share with the rest of the group? Hey, Mary.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I was living my life before eutaptics. I was always on guard. I felt like everybody was crossing my boundaries. I didn't know how to have boundaries. I was always looking for validation from other people and totally playing the victim mentality. And I thought that's what I had to do to be safe. And that just caused a way lot more problems doing it that way.
Yes, certainly. All right.
This one actually really, sorry. Again, I said told you guys that this one really helped me a lot because I feel like we trust all y'all. I had a little bit of a problem with drinking and everything, and I was putting it as like I'm doing it because the world's doing it to me, or I choosing to do it. And this would just to quote it again, of the you take complete responsibility for your life and your outcomes. And I don't know, it's like a light turned on in my head, and I was like, you're doing this to yourself. This is your problem and you're gonna fix it. And I'm happy to say it's really helped.
Just
And I don't know, it makes me feel like I'm in control of it versus like the world's causing this versus I'm causing this, but I'm working on it.
Yes, that's beautiful. Thank you. Anybody else would like to share? Hey, Sherry.
When we just read the first paragraph in the upper model of the world, it kind of struck me. The sentence, it's the meaning that you give to your experience that makes them a problem for you or not. And I thought, oh, I could take this problem and I could choose for it not to be a problem. I mean, it just kind of hit me in a new and fresh way. I mean, it's just like, I get to choose. I mean, normally I think the problems happen to me and I got to just work on them and work on them and work it out. But I could save myself a lot of time just by choosing, oh, I'm not going to let this be a problem for me. I don't know. It just kind of a little different way of looking at it. And it kind of helped me. And I just wanted to share that.
Yes, definitely. The meaning we give to it is really important. Yeah. Hey, Dottie.
I notice anytime I get aggravated with people and I have to start tapping, then I stop and I have to look at it and say, this is you making stories up in your head about what they're doing and everything. So it's kind of, when I tap it, it makes me realize that I am in the lower model of the world of my thinking. So it's almost like when I do that, it makes a click for me to like say, wait, let's stop and think about this. Let's look at it a different way. So it's just
Definitely.
it's a helpful tip for me.
So true. Always. Yeah, definitely. Hey, Penny.
Oh, okay. Well, I've had some real, I guess, insights and hard times lately. I have really been okay with the part about, other people triggering me and it's all about me and things like that. And I'm always well aware of that. However, we had this horrible hurricane here in the mountains, and it really affected me. And so, and it wasn't anybody that affected me, but it was just everything, the whole situation and the devastation and everything. So I found it a lot harder. I mean, this was like a new thing to try to say that this was happening inside me instead of outside me. So, and I think I'm still struggling with that a little bit. So, anyway, I just found that's that's a big, I guess it's kind of a leap for me to take it from personal to the whole outside world situation. It seemed like so many factors there that were not me, but so, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times I try to look for, okay, what's the gift here? Even if it's not very apparent, I mean, the hurricane and everything, what could be a gift here that you could see? What kind of person it makes you, perhaps, what strength you find within yourself due to that, what different meaning you can give to it. So it always helps to find that gift as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, like what other meaning, what meaning could you give to it? Yeah.
I'll have to think about that.
Think about that. I know because
yeah.
it's a big disaster and a lot of lives got very devastated, but
I mean, yeah, I mean, I have seen, I mean, it has brought out a lot of the helpfulness of people. I mean, the community responses and even from across the country has been amazing. People coming in to help and rebuild roads and build people's bridges back. I mean, just, help it. That part has been amazing. So, I mean,
to be able to see that,
to
and the
see that
gratitude.
is good. However, anyway, somehow still I've got to find some kind of way. I mean, I'm doing better. I am doing much better. At first, I was kind of a mess the first week, but yeah, just trying to wrap my head around what reference this is referring to inside me.
Yes, and how you can step into another opportunity to step into the upper model of the world.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Catherine, would you like to share something?
Oh yeah, I didn't hear what the first one. So I really like the part of that when something is outside of you, and what Robert says that is like it can't be that because it can't like fit inside of you. Um, but I feel like it makes a lot of sense, and also I just really feel like it helps me to take responsibility because I know it's not something out there; it's something I can change instead. Um, yeah.
Yeah, certainly. Hey, China.
Hi, I just wanted to share with Penny that, um, like it kind of goes back to like the lower model of the world where it's like Robert says we cannot change other people or circumstances in the world. And so bad things might be going on, but we have to kind of like protect our thinking. And I know it's hard when you're like in it and it's going on around you and you're seeing it. But that's where you use your tools to like tap because I know that for myself when the hurricane I have family out there and so like I did start to fall into that lower model of the world of like fear and anxiety, but then I just used my tools to start tapping on those things that were coming up, like the fear and the anxiety and like the what if scenarios and just all the things. So these are like tools for us to use and Robert's taught us in level one. And so just kind of like think about that. Like we can't control outside sources, but we can control how they're affecting us, if that makes sense. So just know that you're not the only one to fall into that because I totally found myself there and I was so grateful that I have tools to bring myself out of it.
Beautiful. Anyone else would like to share any experiences, insights? For me, I see it like the lower model of the world is like reacting instead of responding. So when something happens or somebody says something, does something, and if I just automatically react to that situation because of what references I have inside, that's a reaction. It's not, and then I see the upper model of the world as an actual response. Like I can see how it is impacting me. I can take ownership. I can, tap on myself or whatever. I can pause to respond. And that way the response will be how I want my life to go, how I can be more compassionate to others. And I find that as a response, I'm more emotionally intelligent. I can, if there's some situation, I can also come back to a place of peace and calm inside and then respond from that. But the lower model of the world is like event happens and I'm reacting. And so there's a formula that Jack Canfield talks about in his book, The Success Principles. It's called E plus R is equal to O. E being the event and R is the response, determines the outcome. So something happens and our response determines the outcome. So event is not always the outcome. It's the response that we give to it, the meaning we give to it is the outcome of that situation. So always, keep in mind upper model of the world. We notice the situation and we're responding from a better place, come back to the upper model of the world and then respond. And then we can change the outcome that is better for us, better for people around us in a more loving, kind, compassionate way. And I think that is a very good gift of this, to either stay in the lower model of the world, just react to the situation or we respond. So I think that's a very good way. And I know the first, another experience I have of the lower and upper model of the world is when I first went to level 1 and I was just bawling and Torian's mom, she was there with me and she would tell you, I mean, I was just like completely, reacting to the situation, my situation. I was the biggest victim in the classroom for sure. And I did not know that we could take ownership of our life. And Robert tapped on me. He's like, I didn't know that I could take ownership of my life, like because I never grew up with that, and I had no idea that one could take ownership of their own life. And this was just merely less than 3 years ago, I think. Yeah, it was less than 3 years ago. So, and now I'm always looking for how can I take ownership in this situation? Where is my part? Where's their part? How can I take ownership? How can I improve myself? How I can have a better response? And, we all fall into that lower model of the world, but it's always okay, recognizing, okay, here I am again. It's time to get back into the upper model of the world and to be a better person, to ourselves and to people around us. And that way we are empowering them too and helping them become a better person and come back to the upper model of the world. And I have an interesting example. This happened just a month ago. So there's this huge painting, like it's a print of a famous painting, probably 100 years old or something. I had in my house, and I always hated it. Always hated it. My response to that was always just like, not good. Always just you know, looking at it like I don't want that in my house, but I never took the ownership to get it out of my house, right? And it's like finally it's in the garage. Okay, I'm getting it out of the house. I'm gonna take it to the Goodwill and just drop it off. I hate this painting. And this last month, just walking by, it's like, this is just a painting. And what meaning am I really giving to it? It's like, okay, without going into the details, I was just like, I just noticed the meaning I was giving to it. And anyway, maybe I can pull up that painting. Hold on. That'll be fun. Just a second. Um, so I was giving a meaning to this painting that was not very helpful to myself. And let's see, was not kind. I was keeping myself in a bad place. Okay, let's see. Can I share my screen? Okay, can you all see it? It's a beautiful painting by Gustav Klimt. And I have this in my house and I'm giving it the meaning that is not very productive to myself. And I was not in a good place. So I'm walking by, looking at this painting again. And it's like, wait a minute. I'm giving it the meaning that means that this woman is lonely and there's this person, this other girl gets the man, whatever. Anyway, so I'm like, wait a minute. I want to change the meaning of this. I was like, this is me and I'm visualizing a better future for myself. Like, okay. So I was happy with myself. The next day I walked by, I was like, wait a minute, there's something else wrong. I'm still not giving it a better meaning. I said, I'm visualizing myself in a better place. And the figures on the right are my masculine and my feminine sides. And I am uniting my masculine feminine sides for me to be joyful and for my masculine side to take care of myself so I can be a complete person. And from that completeness within myself, I can visualize a beautiful future for myself. And before, the meaning I was giving was jealousy, abandonment, betrayal, all kinds of things based on the references I had inside of me. So as I cleaned those references inside of me, I was able to give it a better meaning and step into a better future and visualizing something that was useful for me. And, and I was able to be a better person for myself and for people in my life. So just a interesting example. So yeah, that's my story. So yeah. So whenever I tap these days and I instead of peace, I use my power words. One of them is upper model of the world. So always keep that in mind. Anybody else have any examples that they would like to share? Any insights?
Well,
Go ahead. Sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I just like that it takes the victimhood away, because not only throughout my childhood and throughout my younger years, but it just kept going and going, where I always felt like I was a victim and life was happening to me, but I never knew how to participate or control it. It was just always happening to me. And so taking away that victimhood and using the word power is it's just what I need to hear and what I need to remember when crap happens to me, or like I said just a little bit ago, doesn't seem to matter when I want to do something really good for myself. All these other things come in, and then whatever it was that I was going to do gets put on the back burner once again. And so it gives me yet another perspective, which is exactly what I need at this point in my life. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Diane. Hey, Sherry.
I was just going to say it's very easy for me to recognize the lower model of the world around me and in other people. And I have to make sure I turn that into compassion and not judgment and irritation. And so it's always a constant reminder. They have no idea. You once upon a time, not that very long ago, had no idea either. They're totally blindly living in this lower model of the world. And so it helps me. And it also helps me to kind of sort out where and who I spend more time with. I mean, in this world, we're never going to eliminate the lower model of the world living people because the world is full of them. But I can have compassion and I can go and find people who are like-minded now and spend more time there. So I'm strengthened when I do have to come face to face with a lower model.
Right. So. Absolutely. Yes. And we can help people with that. Like with my kids in the past, I would, if they're having a hard time, I would, become a victim or whatever, and now I can actually help them. And I kind of see it as like Robert says, you got the upper model of the world, we cannot go down and help them in the lower model of the world. We can, from the upper model of the world, we can extend a helping hand to help them come out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just offer new insights and just,
Yes.
well, maybe you're not a victim. And I've said that a few times and they just look at me like, well, what do you mean? Just those things out there for whatever they can receive and get them thinking.
Yes, that's beautiful. Yeah. Hey, Karen.
Sherry just kind of partially answered what I was going to ask. Like, how can we gently, make them understand that that person isn't doing it to them? And this is somebody that's a friend of mine that's actually getting sessions. And I'm thinking, well, I keep saying level 1, you need to take level 1. But I don't know, like you said, it depends, Sherry said, depends on what they're open to hear, I guess, right? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Anybody else have anything? Any insightful stories or hey Julia?
Hello. Yeah. So I had several triggers like what would bring me down to the lower model of the world. And when I started the training, it was definitely being not a native, like that English is not my first language, obviously. So, and I was always thinking, oh my God, I cannot ask any questions, that got getting better. But then also like being a practitioner. So I was thinking I can never be a practitioner like when I'm having not the language skills, but actually this is not the case at all. I'm figuring out right now. So it's sometimes it's just messing up the English language like on purpose makes the client laugh. So that's all I need. So, and currently I'm even thinking that it's even really good not understand every word. So then I can just ask, hey, what do you mean? Or like in the upper level techniques, there's something called dumping. So really saying so to make someone not like, for example, when they're addicted to chocolate, to bring them out of that, to really dump really nasty stuff on that. And everyone is always like, oh, it's really, oh, I feel really bad about what they're hearing. And I'm sitting there just in peace because I'm not understanding exactly what it is. So it's actually like an advantage to not understand everything. So I'm not stressing myself out anymore when I'm not like saying like the perfect English, or before that I was thinking after a call, for example, like the whole like hours after that, oh no, I said that wrong. I should have worded this in another way. And so that's not the case anymore. So coming out of that and seeing that's actually an advantage, like when I use it in this way, um, helps me a lot. And yeah, so this was just my recent experience with the upper model of the world, my language.
Right. Okay. Absolutely. Because only we hold ourselves back due to, what we think, what we perceive. There you go. All right. Is there anybody else? Yeah. And a cool thing might be to think like what could possibly or potentially bring us to the lower model of the world. Because if we kind of also remember that, what has the potential to bring us to the lower model of the world? Because, when it happens, it just happens like this, all of a sudden we're in the lower model of the world. So if we keep that in mind, what can potentially drop us to the lower model of the world? We can keep an eye out for that kind of situation, those kind of words, uh, pictures, images, faces, tones of voice. And if we can remember that, we can, always like keep that in mind. Okay, this has the potential of bringing me to the lower model of the world. And first thing, of course, is always to like, what does it remind me of? You know, where have I seen this or heard this before, felt this before? So we tap on our initial experiences of it from the past, from childhood perhaps. Um, and always tap on that, and then always just keep that in mind. Okay, that's me responding to it. If it is, then it's inside of me, and I go and heal myself, and I can stay in the upper model of the world. And in case I drop to the lower model of the world, I know it because this is what did it, and I can always keep an eye on for such a situation. Because sometimes we can be taken by surprise, that tone of the voice or that look, and we don't even know, and we start blaming the other person, but it's inside of us. So just always like maybe write down a few things that could have the potential. Hey, Sherry.
Hi, I what helps me is I try to keep in the forefront of my mind that everybody has a choice to live the life they want to live, how they want to live it. And that is not the way I was raised. Yeah, I was raised with a very controlling mother, and I thought you had to control. I mean, I learned control from a very efficient, controlling person. So when I let go of that, it helps me to let go, because usually when you get upset and get down into the lower model is because you want to change that. You want to change that thing, that person. Nah, not me. It seems to be easier to change the other person, but it's not. That is definitely a lie. And so if I keep that in the forefront of my mind, but they're really, it's fine that they want to choose to live down there or up, because we all have our choice, and I get my choice. That means I get my choice now to live up here. So
Exactly. Something just came to mind. Just notice, or just try to like see how hard your mom had to work to keep everyone under control, because that's keeping everyone in control is lower model of the world, right? So she worked hard to keep people
very.
in control. She was like constant, keeping everyone in the lower model of the world. So now we can be free and life can be easier. Yeah.
True.
Yes. Yeah. So this was a wonderful meeting, and I hope everyone got some interesting insights, a little better understanding. Is there anything else anyone would like to share? All right. This was really good, and I'm thinking, is this time good for everyone? It's a good time for a lot of people. All right. Um, so I will think about a topic for the next week. Does anybody have any preferences? Like, who gets the biggest, like maybe like a voting, another level one concept? What would you like to talk about next time?
Can we talk about like the test and what is like what's on the test? Like I know we have a list of like things, but can we talk more about like what's on that test?
Are we talking about the written test? Or are we talking about
Yeah,
the
like
competency?
the competency level 1 test.
Okay, so competency level one test, just go through the level one book, all the concepts. Just make sure that you're well rehearsed in all of them, everything. Yeah. So just go through it and make sure that you know all of those concepts of level one. You got upper and lower model of the world, you got what is the memory, what's belief, what's perception, what's everything, affirmations, energy, RAS, primary principle, all those things. Just make sure you know everything and you'll do just fine. Which you
The
already know, you're
concepts, okay.
all the concepts. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Make sure you know everything and you will do great. Yeah. Just go through everything. The saboteur, the intelligent idiot, trance monkey, metaphoric mind, everything. Just go through it. Can't hear you.
Did you just pull up the table of context or?
That's right. Yeah. Just go through the whole everything table of context, everything. Make sure you know everything.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And you'll do just fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's all it is. It's just go through all the concepts of level one and you'll have it. And so that's pretty much what we're doing in the calls too. Just go through all the concepts and just as we talk about it, we can do it.
Okay.
Yeah. So how about like perception? Is perception a good topic for next week? Because it could be deep perception.
Yeah.
Yeah. So perhaps we can all kind of read the book and also maybe just kind of think more about it, write down some insights, some examples, whatever comes to your mind. We can talk about perception. Sound good? All right.
Are you
All right,
meeting
I'm
every
looking.
week?
I think every week will be good because, they're short little topics and we can we can just kind of stay in touch, talk about it. And then as we talk about these concepts, they can become our, part of our, as I say, like the unconscious mind is like this big beach ball. We know everything, but when we talk about it, we keep it on top of our mind, then it stays in our conscious mind, and we can apply it to our daily life in a more habitual, more conscious way. So, yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you so much, ladies. I look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you, Shrishti.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Christy. Nice
everyone.
to meet everyone.
Nice to meet everyone. Yes. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.